Let me give it like 10 seconds before I start. All right. All right, let's get started, okay? All right, so let's start it out like this, all right? Let's talk about love, where everybody kind of wants love, but not everybody deserves it. And that's the reality. It's pretty harsh, but it's the reality. And we all want loyalty, at least some of us do, most of us do. We all want loyalty, we want respect, and we want someone to kind of show up for us. But the question is, have you become the kind of person who is ready to give that back? Not a lot of people can say they have that, because action speaks louder. Now, in relationships, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. And the only way to get what you want is to actually deserve what you want. And so if you're new here, my name is Mitchell and I'm a relationship coach. In today's live video, I'll be talking about, to get what you want, you have to deserve what you want. So I have 4 things that I want to talk about. So the first one is the myth of shortcuts in love, or for love. And many people chase a lot of quick fixes nowadays. They thinking about like lines and tricks or hacks in order to attract somebody. And I think that is very important for people to have that skill, to have the ability to attract someone into their lives. But real attraction, things that are sustainable, not just attainable, but sustainable, you can't fake it. You can't fake it. You can only fake it for so long in order to attract somebody, but in order to maintain us and sustain this longer relationship, you have to be a better person. Like, there's no other way around it. And the thing is, if you're not working on yourself, there's no tips or tricks or hacks that will save you, especially on that weak type of foundation. And just like money, think of it like this, like, oh, if I had more money, I would solve more of my problems. It's like, no, that's not true. Just like money, relationship exposes, or it kind of magnifies or amplifies who you truly are, and not who you try to pretend to be. So people, like, think about it like this. Someone that is an alcoholic, that used to drink like cheaper beer, whatever, and then let's just say you gave them like $1 million, put it in a bank account. They could afford more expensive alcohol. That's basically what like, they're still an alcoholic, they just drink better alcohol. So now these are some things that you just have to understand. And the most reliable way to achieve certain goals in your life, or skills in this case, is to earn them. And like I said, there's no shortcuts. And you earn them through your actions, your skills, and your character, rather than expecting it to be given to you. A lot of people feel entitled and they want things to be given to them without being earned. That's not how life works. At least, not in this lifetime. And so where it kind of leaves a lot of people is that it leaves a lot of people to point fingers and to point the blame into other people. And you could put blame on anything, honestly. You could blame your parents, you could blame your surroundings, you could blame yourself, like, oh, I'm just for most guys out there, especially in modern dating now, while they're dependent on the app, they're thinking about like, damn, I'm just like, I would never get seen because I'm not 6 feet tall, or I don't make 6 figures, or I'm out of shape. And it's like, well, if apps don't work for you, there's other ways to attract, and it's by going out and approaching and being completely honest with yourself. But it sets a lot of men back because they are unwilling to approach, and they use dating apps as an example, or as the main source of trying to get dates. It's like, well, most people that fish in the same pond, they don't get very far. And I'm not saying that there are no good people in there. I'm just saying that there's a different world out there when you go out and you approach, just like how everybody did it before the phone. All right. So like I said, you could blame your parents, you could blame your surroundings, you could blame anything that you want. But if you really think about it and you take a step back and ask yourself, is this type of blame that I'm pointing at other people at my surrounding, my height, the way I was brought up, whatever it is it useful? That's the key word, useful. Is it more useful to believe that to get what you want in life, you have to deserve what you want? Or, on the other hand, or you just doomed? You're like, well, I'm just doomed because I'm not 6 feet tall. I don't make six figures or whatever. Like, this is my fate. And so I caution you guys to be very, very careful about the story that you constantly tell yourself, because whatever you tell yourself, whether it is accurate or not, it's going to become true. And that's just as simple as the law of attraction. You are what you attract. So you really got to be careful with the things that you constantly tell yourself. And I was a victim of that too, of, me telling to some degree, I still point the blame at myself and be like, damn, but then I realized, I was like, my mind is completely different. And I'll explain that later on in, my other slides, but I still have that. It's in our DNA to kind of blame ourselves, to kind of hold ourselves back rather than trying to progress. So anyways, moving on. Now, I do like to say that a lot more people now, or even before, not just now, but a lot of people, they do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So the pain of getting up every single morning or whatever, or, after work, going to the gym, the pain of eating well, consistently taking care of your body and, putting nutrients in your body versus garbage, right? Like, it's way more harder to have that type of discipline than to just lounge around, not do anything, just kind of sit there and not have anything moving forward. And so that's why it gets a little bit complicated for most people, because they're like, well, I don't really have a reason to do anything. I don't have a purpose. And so that's why it's so important to have a reason, emotionally compelling reason to want to do something. Because when you have reason, you have answers. People think you have answers first and then the reasons come second. It's the other way around. You have to have a good reason, and then your answers will come. Your answers will come afterwards. So what does that tell you? Most people, they major in minor things. When they do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure, they major in minor things. They're focusing on things. They're more consuming rather than creating for themselves or for other people. So in other words, they're more susceptible to just playing on a phone all day, not really focusing on the things that is important. And I'm not saying that you can't be on your phone. What I am saying is, if you are going to be on your phone, you should focus on doing other things, such as taking care of your health. Just things that are more emotionally compelling for you, for that is healthier, whether it's for your mind or your body or spiritually. You got to take care of yourself. So most people major in minor things. And, the question is, are you going to let yourself go, or are you going to choose a path to become better? Because if you think about it like this, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. So the discipline that you have to wake up every morning or after work or whatever and going to the gym and taking care of your body, that's discipline, and that's ounces. But regret, when something bad really happens and when shit basically really hits a fan, that's gonna weigh way more than if you were to just be like, damn, I wish I should have just taken care of my health. Because I work in the health field, and there's a lot of people that that they wished that they could have done certain things, and now it's kind of too late because of X, Y, and Z happened. Maybe it's an ailment, maybe it's a disease or something. And it just kind of set themselves back. And it's like, well, if I would have done this before, things would have been easier. So regret weighs tons, okay? Discipline weighs ounces. And then I want you to think about the word useful, right? What is more useful? Is it more useful to blame people, or is it more useful to just take the action? I know which one's easier, but we all know which one is more useful. And so by consistently trying to improve yourself and delivering value to other people and to yourself too, right? You got to build your character, build yourself. You get to build a certain type of foundation of respect for yourself. And when you respect yourself, and you trust the process, you become a little bit more competent, and then you become more confident. And then other people will start seeing that. They're like, damn, you're passionate about things. I see that you respect yourself. And they learn to trust you because you put yourself through that type of discipline. And so by doing that, makes achieving your desire, whether it's like, say, for money or, to have better relationships, it's more likely to be more sustainable. All right. Now, number 2 is building character. Okay. There are 2 ways, and I want to start out with this quote by Simon Sinek, which is, there are 2 ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. Simon Sinek. So we all probably deep down feel like we deserve to have a good life. Like, we deserve it. I deserve to have a good life. You might think you deserve to have a good relationship as well, or you deserve to have more money, like whatever you feel like you deserve. And let's just say you find, say for example, in relationships, a good person to be in a good, happy, healthy type of relationship. Ask yourself this question: why do you deserve to be in a good relationship? Do you have the skills that warrants to maintain a good relationship? Let's just say you want more money. Well, do you have the type of skills that warrants you making more money? Do you or do you not? And if you can't answer it honestly with a astounding yes, then you probably need to work on yourself a little bit more to build yourself and fill in whatever knowledge gap do you have in that particular skill that you want. And you have to earn that type of skill. Right? Now, do you have a set, now for relationships, do you have a set of values that you personally uphold for yourself before demanding it from another person? Right? Have you studied the process of, say for you, if you're a man and you're watching this, have you studied the process of dating and courting and being in a relationship and trying to maintain that relationship? Like, have you learned that? Or even as you were being brought up, do you have a good parents that resemble what a good, happy, healthy relationship is? Like, was there a lot of arguing, a lot of blowing up, a lot of screaming, a lot of pointing fingers? Or was it like some people actually take a step back and be like, you know what, you're right. This is what I did that was wrong. And I need to work better. And you know the answer yourself. And so here's the thing. When you say that you deserve something without having to work for it, you're trying to manipulate the world into giving it to you. That's what you're doing, right? Back to the quote when I was talking about Simon Sinek, like, there's 2 ways to influence human behaviors. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. Most people choose the path of manipulation. And they don't like it. Who likes to be called a manipulator, right? But if you feel like you deserve something and you never worked for it, you're trying to manipulate the world into giving it to you without being deserving. Or you could just inspire yourself. Put in the work, put in the time, and then earn it. That is where the deserve comes in play. Now, the reality is not everybody deserves to be in a relationship. That's just the reality. Most people, they shouldn't be in a relationship. But here's the thing. It is in our DNA to crave love and connection. It's not a want. It's more of a need. We need that. But not a lot of people want to work towards that. So where does it leave you? It kind of leaves you in between. Like, well, I need to be in this relationship. But then you don't have the skills to maintain it. So we all know what you have to do. It's not a secret. It's kind of like if you want to lose weight, we all know that you should eat a little less and that we should exercise a little bit more. We all know that. You might not know exactly the technical skills or, how much, but you just know. If you want to gain more weight, you eat more. If you want to be less, you eat less. That's as simple as that. So now, if we were to focus back on relationship and breakups, this is why so many people are broken up. there's many breakups. That's why dating apps right now are so popular, because most people, they find themselves, it's easier to scroll in and try to find a date while you could find a date sitting on a toilet. That to me is crazy, right? And why most people find themselves single again, or being single, or staying single. Like there's a reason why. It's because we crave for love and attention. It's a need, it's not a want. But yeah, back to deserve. Do you deserve it? Now, because it takes more time to develop the skills to attract somebody, and it takes time to develop the skill to maintain that relationship and sustain wherever you're at, there are no shortcuts to this. And there's just no shortcuts to it. You just have to put in the effort and the time. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself single over and over again. Like that's the reality of it. So now this is where the world presents you with two different things. It presents you with, well, you can choose to view the world as things happening to you. Like, damn, everybody sucks. Nothing ever works out. Every single relationship I'm ever in, it always ends up in a breakup or a divorce or whatever. Nothing works. Or you could choose to have a path where things are happening for you. Well, if you were in a relationship and you find yourself single, what were some of the things that you could have done that would have maybe helped prevent that from happening? What would I have said? What would I have had to do? Maybe it could be, well, if I didn't blow up as much, maybe if I didn't complain as much, especially as a guy. Like, there's certain things that there's more things that a man can do to hurt himself in a relationship than to build attraction. Building attraction takes a little bit more time. It only takes a fraction of a second to destroy that attraction. And there's so many ways. Here's the easy one: being too clingy. Easy way. So now I want you to take a step back. When you take a step back and you allow yourself this journey of self-improvement, and you inspire others to become better and more willingly to want your time and to want you more around them, because that's the greatest gift that you could give to anybody, is the gift of your time. Then you can finally allow this piece in your life to kind of fit into your world by attracting them from the person you become. So say, for example, if my world requires a circle, this is my world, it requires a circle. I know that I need this circle or square, whatever shape it may be. You know the shape. And by knowing what you want, by focusing on what you want, you know that your world requires a circle. So then you allow people to choose from, because you're having more of an abundance. And then if you see that person is like, well, that person is more like a rectangle, or that person is more like a square, or maybe that person's a circle, but that circle doesn't fit the circle, you already know exactly what you need. And so by becoming the person that you become, that you want to be, you're allowing other people to fit into your world a lot easier. It becomes much more peaceful, and it just happens more naturally. And that's usually where love and attraction comes from. It happens naturally. That's where it really happens. All right. So number 3, it is you attract what you are. Okay. And I want to talk about where success depends upon prior preparation, and without preparation, there is sure to be failure. So I was talking about our mind earlier, where our mind is designed to protect us. So if our mind is designed to protect us, what does it mean? It means that, well, we still have this old brain that we have, and it's hardwired to survive. And a lot of people, they find themselves like, damn, like, why is it so difficult? Well, it's because our mind is designed to survive, not to thrive in life. So if you stop and ask yourself, like, you're going to get what you want in life. You're not going to get what you want in life unless you feel like you deserve it. And most of us feel that way because we don't know what the other side is. It's this unknown. It's this danger that we have. You also probably don't really want to work on yourself because you're afraid that, well, you might fall short of it. If I don't do it, I cannot fail. If I don't do it, I cannot fail. So if you're a guy and you're single and you're like, damn, I wish to have a girlfriend, but you're too shy, and then you talk yourself out of it. Well, if I don't approach her because I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm afraid of like getting rejected, if I don't talk to her, I can't fail. And then if I give myself enough reasons to be like, she's probably that B word, she's probably that, well, you're avoiding failure. That's what most people, they depend on pushing the other people away instead of pushing themselves forward towards whatever you're fearful of. And whatever you fear, you attract. And so if you're constantly telling yourself like, well, she's probably that B word, or, if I don't go, I won't feel like such a failure, then I don't need to do anything. And then when you constantly don't do anything, you're going to find yourself falling short of a lot of things that you want. So we play it safe, right? A lot of us, we play it safe. And what the mind that is constantly trying to sabotage us, because that's what it does, it's trying to protect us, then we surround ourselves with more people, because it's a majority of people that rather do nothing than to do something. Then we surround ourselves with those type of people and with the same mindset, and how that's going to turn out, right? And despite how difficult it is, some of us, they're like, you know what, I'm tired of this, and I want to stand up and say, we should have blank, like we should have more money, we should have a better relation, or I should have this, or I should have that. But then what you're really admitting to is that you're admitting that you think you're worthy of these things. And then it kind of just goes back to this vicious cycle, because what you think you deserve or what you actually put out are two different things. And so now if you're not careful with yourself, on top of everything else, you will attract more chaos into your world. And it's like, well, do you really want to do all this stuff? And it, like I said, it becomes this vicious loop. So where does that really leave you? It leaves a lot of people with this false sense of hope. But then here's the beauty on the other side. You've seen the successes from other people. You've seen it. And if you follow these certain beliefs, right? And like, say, for example, you're a guy, you're more masculine, you remain more calm, you're more confident, you're more grounded. What that's naturally going to happen is that you're going to draw more people that values the same things. And people will find you a lot more interesting. And for women, if you're a guy watching this and you're doing this, for women, they find it irresistible. So think about it like this. Life is crazy enough as it is. And if you want to have a drama-free life, as much of it as possible, you're going to have to earn that. And lastly, there are no shortcuts. Okay? Suck it up. There are no shortcuts. The only way to this path is success is going up. That's what it is. And when I say up, I mean you get up when you fall. You get up when you fail. You keep your head up high and you focus on the things that you want, not the things that will hold you back. How many people over here know somebody that they just like to focus on all the bad things that's happening? They're like, oh, this is what's always happening. Or like, oh, have you seen the news? Have you seen this? And have you seen that? Or I don't think I can do that, instead of I think I can do that. Another big one was, especially when it comes in the world of finance and stuff, it's like, well, instead of saying I can't afford that, it's, well, changing it up. How can I afford that? How can I afford that house? How can I, say you want a pair of shoes or whatever, right? And well, how can I afford this shoe? What will I need to do to get this pair, right? That will put you in a much better mindset than being negative and being like, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. So you hold yourself accountable and you believe in yourself, especially when most people will doubt you. A lot of people is going to doubt you, especially as you're rising up. A lot of people is not going to like seeing what you have, because you become a mirror to who they are not. So if you're successful, let's just say you're more successful with women, or you become more successful financially, and say, I don't know, it could be a friend or a stranger or whatever, they're gonna want to bring you down. The reason why they want to bring you down is because, well, you become a reflection to them of what they're not. And so if you're having more success and they're not, they don't like that. And so they much rather drag you down with them so that they could feel better about themselves. And so you got to be really careful with the people you surround yourself with too, right? It's like surroundings, your upbringing. It's like, damn, there's so many things to kind of go against what you believed in the beginning. And it's like, yeah, it requires a lot of work. And I know that because I've been through that. And so now when you find yourself stagnant, and you have to find yourself another reason to keep going, because like I said, you got to give yourself good enough reason, and then you will get your answer. Reasons come first, answers come second. Jim Rohn. Now, because life will constantly test you, the moment you feel like you kind of reach to the top, guess what's going to happen? Another chapter is going to reveal itself or open up, and you're going to have more challenges. It's a never-ending cycle of challenges. But the more you could get past the challenge, the more competent and confident you'll feel. So be a person that does more things than say more things. And the only way to become better at relationships is to actually become better at relationships. And this is a good place. This is a very good place to start. And so that means that developing yourself as a man, learning how to communicate without blowing up or shutting down, building emotional self-control. So having your emotion, being emotionally regulated is very important. So you don't get dragged around by your own insecurities or your own type of jealousies. So what does that mean? Practicing infinite patience. And these are like examples on how to become a more masculine man. And if you want to respect yourself, well, guess what? You got to learn to respect yourself first, because respect is to be earned. And if you don't even respect yourself, how do you think other people is going to see? Because how you talk, how you move, the words that you use, people could see through that. And if you don't respect yourself and your time, and you don't set and enforce healthy boundaries, guess what's going to happen? People is going to run all over your life. You're not going to like it, and then you explode. And guess what happens? It becomes this vicious loop. And so now if you want loyalty, you got to build yourself into a kind of person or a kind of man who can inspire loyalty, not manipulate, but inspire loyalty. If you want a woman to trust you and become a man who can actually carry the weight of responsibility, the bottom line is you got to become better. And so if you guys did like this live and you want more conversations like this, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss another live. And let me know in the comments what's that one skill right now that you're working on to become better in relationship. I'd love to hear it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.